The galaxy had seen many civilizations rise and fall. For eons, mighty empires had shaped the universe: the sophisticated Exithians, the technologically advanced Rokai, and the ancient Chlora. Each species believed they were the pinnacle of evolution, each one certain that their own accomplishments defined the future of the cosmos. But they had not accounted for one thing: humanity. The humans were an anomaly, a species that, by galactic standards, should have been irrelevant. Their home planet, Earth, was nothing more than a speck in the farthest corner of the galaxy. Their technology was crude compared to the super-advanced machines that powered the fleets of the larger civilizations. Yet, when the call came, humanity answered it in a way that no one could have ever anticipated. The Vrokai had been the first to make contact with Earth. Their ambassador, Volkil, had been baffled by the primitive nature of human life. "They're far too weak," he had stated upon his return to the Council of Empires. "Barely capable of space travel, let alone war." But Volkil's underestimation would soon prove to be his and his species' greatest mistake. It all began when the humans received an offer, one they could not refuse. The galactic powers were in the midst of a war against an unknown, deadly alien force, the Krathi. These terrifying beings, once believed to be a myth, had launched a devastating attack on the heart of the Vrokai Empire. Their tactics were brutal, their weapons destructive, and they had destroyed entire fleets of warships with almost no effort. All the great powers of the galaxy were struggling against them. Desperation set in as the Krathi advanced, taking one system after another. The Vrokai, for all their intelligence and might, could not defend against this new threat. They needed reinforcements. They needed allies. And that's when they turned to the humans. The humans, under the command of their unified governments, were not the brightest in the ways of war, but they had one trait that no one in the galaxy could deny: resourcefulness. No one could prepare for the strange, unexpected ways the humans would react when faced with a challenge. When the Vrokai offered the humans a giant supercarrier, a ship so enormous it could dwarf entire cities, they didn't know what to expect. The humans had never piloted anything of that scale before, and while the Vrokai were offering advanced technology and training, it was clear that the humans were out of their depth. But when the humans said they would take it from here, they were deadly serious. The first thing the humans did with the supercarrier was surprising. They didn't just modify it, they redefined its very nature. The humans called it the Titan. To everyone's disbelief, they didn't just turn it into a battle-ready warship, they turned it into a symbol. The Titan was not just a weapon. It was an icon of human ingenuity and pride. They immediately began making modifications, and while the Vrokai watched with confused interest, they did not anticipate the scale of the changes. The hull of the ship was reinforced with a newly developed hybrid metal, combining elements of the Vrokai's best alloys and human ingenuity. The weapons systems were an amalgamation of the Vrokai's most advanced tech and weapons designs stolen from Krathi ships during previous skirmishes. They installed experimental AI systems, some of which were based on human strategies and old war manuals. And surprisingly, they began integrating strategies from ancient human warriors, from Sun Tzu's art of war to the battle tactics of Earth's greatest generals. But what really shocked the galaxy was what they did next. The humans transformed the Titan into a massive flying fortress, but not just any fortress. It was now a city unto itself, one that housed not just the fleet, but entire divisions of human soldiers and civilians. The humans were turning this supercarrier into a floating ecosystem, complete with farms, medical bays, and housing districts. It became more than just a military vessel, it became a mobile human stronghold. They also equipped the Titan with an unorthodox weapon that no one had ever expected: a series of ancient human-built nuclear missiles, colloquially referred to as the deterrents. These missiles had been outlawed for centuries, and yet the humans had rediscovered their power and turn them into something the galaxy had not seen in millennia, an absolute last line of defense. The Krathi forces had advanced to the edge of the Vrokai's most important sector when the Titan finally made its appearance. The galaxy held its breath. As the ship emerged from the slipstream, its engines roaring with the power of 1,000 suns, it became clear that humanity was ready. But they didn't do things the way the rest of the galaxy expected. They didn't immediately charge into battle. Instead, the humans employed a tactic that both baffled and terrified their enemies: patience. For hours, the Titan simply hovered, observing. Its advanced sensors scanned the Krathi fleets from every angle. The Vrokai and the rest of the Galactic Alliance waited, uncertain of what the humans were waiting for. Were they gathering intelligence? Were they waiting for reinforcements? No. The humans were waiting for the Krathi to make their move. When the Krathi finally advanced to attack, the Titan responded in the only way humans knew how, with unrelenting force. The Supercarrier unleashed a hailstorm of laser fire, nuclear missiles, and anti-ship plasma bursts. The Krathi fleet, which had dominated every other force they had encountered, was now struggling to cope with the sheer unpredictability of human tactics. The Krathi had not anticipated this kind of brute force, nor the willingness of the humans to throw everything into the fight. What came next shocked the galaxy to its core. The Krathi, unable to adapt to the human style of combat, were forced to retreat. The humans had not just repelled them, they had decimated their ranks. The humans had done the impossible. They had won. The Krathi Empire, once seen as an unstoppable force, was sent reeling. The human forces, led by the Titan, pursued them relentlessly, driving them from system to system. The galaxy watched as humanity turned the tide of the war with their raw determination, unpredictability, and a terrifying willingness to risk it all. The Vrokai, and indeed all of the galaxy's greatest empires, stood in stunned silence. Humanity had done what no one expected. They had taken the most advanced supercarrier ever built, and instead of using it as just another ship in the fleet, they had turned it into a symbol of human defiance. They had shown the universe that they would fight to the last, that they could adapt faster than any other species, and that no matter the odds, the human spirit could not be defeated. And from that day forward, the question on every alien's lips was, the humans did what with a giant supercarrier